Personally, I met Byron maybe 3.5 years ago. I knew him by reputation, one of the most feared men on the west side of Detroit.
These niggas out here playing, man, I swear to God, they gon' make me come and put one in you pussies' cars. Or better yet, man, and I swear to God, I'll beat you to your crib in your front yard.
Queen was worried about her son. She would call me every 2 days, son's hearing voices and whatnot. And I said, well, Queen, if he'll talk to me, I'll meet him somewhere. And so we set up a meeting at a restaurant. Byron had to sit in a certain spot. He has to take a position where he can see everybody coming in. This is the kind of lifestyle he was living. I said, Byron. No, I didn't even know his name was Byron. I called him Dex. And I asked him a question. I said, do you really think God meticulously put his hands to you for you to do what you're doing? It stopped him in his tracks. I saw a tear come down his face. I said, Dex, I don't care where you were last night, who you were with. If in the next 2 minutes you can give your life to the Lord, God will forgive you for whatever you have done. More tears. I thought I had him. He sat up like this. He said, preacher, I hear what you're saying. I just can't walk away from my street reputation. The next thing I heard about Dex Osama, he was dead.
My niggas with big triggers. Real nigga killer, I leave a nigga body shiver. Most of my enemies be tweeting. I catch them while they smoked up and leaning. Open fire, leave them niggas bleeding. See me in the streets with these hands to get your neck broke. Y'all niggas playing, y'all really broke. Y'all niggas got me round with choppers. Ain't no need for no doctor. Kill a nigga on sight. Put me on Crime Stoppers. Your bitch like when she getting choked. All this ice in the water look like I'm on a boat. You niggas screaming out choppers. I ain't gonna stop till these niggas kill me. Come and play me like Jesus, nigga. Come near me.
I just say the lyrics was, he was true to his lyrics. Reality rapper. He wasn't one of them rappers you would see talking like, say something in his verse and then you see him out, be scared, and that's what it was.
Motherfuckers tell me, you know, you should rap about something different. What the fuck you want me to rap about? A Bentley? Ferrari? I'm a reality rapper, dog. I can't tell you nothing about that type of shit.
Cause you're not lying about what you're doing. So it's easy for him to put it together, but you gotta be an artist to put words together like that.
Go 41, feeling like Obama. Clip full of choppers, got us feeling like Osama. I'm trying to get this deal before the devil killed me. Fake niggas say I ain't real cause they don't feel me. I never let you pussy niggas kill me. I kill myself before
I was in Chicago. Meek had just did a show. He just had a show out there, and we went out there kicking with Meek. It was like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, and Dex, I put a picture up on Instagram, uploaded it with Meek, and Dex had inboxed me like, let him hear my music. I'm like, man, he must be really serious. And I'm thinking like, this might be an opportunity for me too, so why not? So I went up to Meek room, he was still up. I asked him like, you got a minute, can you listen to this dude from my city? He wants you to hear his music bad. He's like, all right. I played it on my phone, YouTube, and he like played it over 3, 4 times, and he was liking it. Then Dex had like a YouTube, you know how YouTube is, it go to the next song and next song. He just listened to that the whole night. We was up for like 6, 7 hours just listening to Dex. He followed Dex on Instagram. He had Nicki Minaj dancing to his, she was like twerking in one of his songs, and that buzz just Meek putting it up, you know?
Taking hits at a young age, my mama didn't know about. Had to get lights, everybody else was showing out. People don't know this shit real that I talk about. 3 months ago, I just really put the chopper down. Scared to go to sleep, I feel the devil standing over me. Pick the chopper up, I feel the devil take control of me. I can Molly catch a body, living life stress-free. Know I can kill a nigga anytime if he test me. Living like Superman. I can't be touched, nigga. Ride with this punk, nigga. I'll fuck you up, nigga. Scared of
The hood ain't even fucked up like motherfuckers portray it to be fucked up. Like, this shit was a community. You know what I mean? Like, everybody cared about each other. Everybody fucked with each other. Niggas, mamas, and grandmas and shit. Called. Like, you could do some shit, and the motherfucker ain't even gotta be around. But by the time you make it back to the crib or to the block, they all know your motherfucking business. See, when it comes to fame, once you got a name in the streets and motherfuckers know who you are already in the streets, you already famous.
Look at this nigga, a superstar.
I got this bitch hype.
Huh?
Hey, niggas already know. Hey,
What's
trust
the
squad,
deal?
trust squad.
I kind of already knew what type of child I was gonna have at 5, just from the things that excited him. He loved to watch Paid in Full, any type of movies that involved drugs and activity and just some gangster stuff. He was glued to it.
But one day, Byron was coming downstairs from the bathroom. His dad was playing the game, and his daddy started saying the words, "My son is a thug." And then he started to rap and said, "My daddy is a thug." But he was rapping so hard till he was foaming at the mouth. I mean, he did everything. I couldn't believe it. I called his mother. I guess she didn't believe it either. But his daddy knew it was true. So he's been rapping for a long time.
He always was rapping. I always would find papers and I'll be reading it like, what the hell is this? But it was always his little raps. And I'd be like, Byron, what is this? And Deucey'd be like, Byron's raps. You know what I'm saying? He'd have notebooks and notebooks just full of raps. He loved music. He loved music. At a young age, the stuff that he would rap about, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know about this? How do you even know this word? I knew he always said he was gonna be famous. He would always say, I'm gonna be famous. We gonna be famous. Watch, we gonna make it.
The environment we grew up in was like going just to the store. You know, you just see stuff and you catch on to it. And the stuff that he was catching on to, a kid his age probably wouldn't just see if he wouldn't know what was going on. You know, as far as the drug addiction and that type of stuff, he was able to see that real fast.
If everybody you looking up to carrying guns, selling drugs, or, you know, having sex, if that's all you see, then, you know, you become immune to it.
See, his uncles is respected, known niggas.
They didn't play. Anybody in the city of Detroit know the brothers, they call them twins, because they had good long hair, freckles like me. They didn't play. They, if they rocked with you, they rocked with you. If they didn't, you better hope you don't cross their path.
Bitches called him Suave. You know, smooth nigga. Like, when we was in school and shit like that, that nigga see me in some shit, he wouldn't even let a nigga argue with a nigga. Like, he was a real friend. He'd break his back for you. Like, it ain't no nigga gonna be like him no more. I haven't ran into him, and I done ran into a lot of niggas. He was a different kind of nigga. You know what I mean? Different.
His uncles were more street. And I guess growing up, he was paying attention to that, and he had migrated towards that. He really looked up to his uncles. He got into a little situation or whatever, and to long story short, I wasn't too far away from this spot right here, but Ronnie had ended up getting shot or whatever down the street, and he crashed to the side of this store right here. And when he crashed here, I seen him take his last couple breaths or whatever, and it kind of did something to me. That was like really my best friend. Like, it had to be 5 minutes after we split up, and yeah, he just took his last breaths right here.
Chico got murdered in 2009. About 2012, Byron was just out of control. Like I told you, he had just lost all faith now. I think Byron at that time felt like he had to step up and be the man of the family, but he really didn't know how because he looked to his uncles. He wasn't my sweet Byron no more. He wasn't the sweet Byron. To a certain extent, he was, but I can see the change, the anger in him from losing both of his uncles. I can see the anger he had towards God for allowing it to happen. I would hear him say it. Once again, we were all we had. We was family oriented, you know. They were like Byron brothers as well because we all grew up together. We were all young.
It made him more numb to things. One time we were talking, when he started taking the music serious, I was like, you know, you got a reputation thing. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, Mike, I have my family, like, they living through me now. I'm like, that's why I want you to stay with this music, because you really got a good voice, bro.
4 in the morning, Meek FaceTime me. I'm like, what's going on? So he was like, where Dex? I'm like, he not with me. It's 4 in the morning, I'm in the bed. He's like, I want to talk to him. So I called Dex, 4 in the morning. I didn't think he was gonna answer. He answered, he was laid up. So at a hotel, he was really 5 minutes up the road. So I went over there. I was like, come outside. He came outside with a ski mask on, chain and everything. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't know what I needed. He came out and I was like, oh, here you go. And it was him and Meek. It was Meek FaceTime, and Meek was in the studio. And he was rapping Dex song, like Death on Me.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Come get me.
And Dex started laughing. He was geeked, he was like, yeah, hyped up. And then, Meek was just showing him the Bentleys and, telling him about the lifestyle. Like, man, once you get into this lifestyle, ain't no coming back, man. You don't gotta wake up to chopper sounds and, all that crazy stuff. He like, this is where you wanna be at. They met in person when I took them to Vegas for the fight, Mayweather, Pacquiao. So Meek threw his own party at the Palms. It was crazy, man.
I remember this moment in Vegas. It's all type of rappers waiting outside, waiting on Meek Mill to come to the club. And Meek, he's about to be pulling up, but he got Nicki with him. So you know how that be, security waiting, everybody get back. So you got football players trying to get in the club, standing there waiting on Meek to pull up, because in Vegas, it's sort of like, no matter how much money you got, sometimes it's about who you know. So everybody just waiting on Meek Mill to pull up. And he's walking in, security walking real fast, and everybody calling his name, he's like ignoring them. And first thing he turned around and said was, make sure Dex and Dage get in. And Dex was like, y'all heard what he said in front of everybody, like, this Dex right here, we in here, let's go.
Big nigga, so I ride around with big choppers. Big Glocker, call that motherfucker Big Papa. Nigga, call it copper, please, can't shit stop us. Hit him in his chest with that 40, make his legs wobble. Dog, he a bitch, he trying to shake my hand, bitch.
I got a picture of him too, he couldn't hang. It was like 1 o'clock and he was asleep on the couch. I'm like, come on. And he couldn't believe it, man. He never been around like those type of people, so. He had a song with Meek. It was a crazy song. The song was fire. I'm mad that they didn't make it, man. It's like a clip. If you go on YouTube, you'll see it. It's like him and Meek. They just got the chorus.
All my niggas trippin' like the slide do. Hanging out that window like a drive do. Chopper kick a nigga down, hook kung fu. Make a nigga bleed red like a pyro. Me Melly. Denying that the nigga you should lie to. I've been wildin' since they killed my dad in 9-2. I'm 6'3", but the chopper on me 5'2". Don't give a fuck where you.
One day Byron called me. He was like, Ma, I had this dream. He was like, I was in a hotel. He was actually in a hotel room out of town. He said this black cloud was over me and he was choking me and I couldn't move and I couldn't breathe and he was like, my friends seen it and they seen the black cloud and they was like, couldn't do nothing either. And I started screaming because I knew the Reaper had came to my son. I said, Byron, you got death on you. If you don't change your ways, Byron, you are going to die. He was like, Mom, I'm gonna be all right.
My mama said I got death on me. The reason why I got this vest on me, yeah. These niggas want me, then come get me. I ain't high, nigga, I'm in the city. I heard Dawn was putting that play down. Chopper give me brain freeze from a K-round. These niggas know they gotta set me up to wake me up. Cause if I get that first squeeze, I'm acting up. Damn, Dex boy, I heard it was 100 bands. Time free, little nigga, that 300 grand. Me and Molly switching lanes in a 2-seater. No shirt, just a Cuban in the white beater. Bitch, me and my niggas be them chopper boys. If we slide down your block, we gotta drop a boy.
I didn't believe it. I wasn't listening at raps. I didn't believe it. And then when somebody say, your grandson, you see his video? I said, what video? Mama said it got death on me. I say, what? And then they showed me and I looked at it and everything. I was shocked. I was really shocked. But he did a good job.
It was crazy. Like, he didn't even like that Death on Me song. Cause I liked it. He like, man, he like, turn that shit off. I'm like, what? Like, this is you. He like, man, turn that shit off. I don't like that song. It do something to me. And I mean, you spoke with the pastor earlier, so it basically had something to do with that. He said he felt like he died. He was like, I felt like my body was snatched out, like I seen the Reaper. He was like, I don't like that song.
Those were the voices that were really troubling him, which I think is why he met with me. And he gave a vivid picture, some hooded figure. He mentioned a staff, the sickle. I understood where he was coming from. He was being demonically tormented. You know, he had a fear of this. He said, I can't sleep, I can't eat. Whenever I lay down, this thing is appearing to me. Now, if you're asking me, do I know what that figure was? Religiously and biblically, I think the death angel was on his track, and he knew it.
On those last days down there, he would come to my neighborhood and just to kick it and chill and like get a peace of mind. It was like freedom from him versing in the city. Wherever he at, he getting in shootouts. This is like a every other day thing. He's got to watch his back. People he done robbed, took stuff from.
And one time he came through the projects. I haven't talked to him in like a week. And when I seen him, he shook my hand, he was shaking. I'm like, what's up, man? He like, there's bullet holes in his car. He like, I just got to a shootout. I'm like, what? He like, yeah. And he just was like, man, just call me later. And he just, you know, like when he embraced me, it was just like, I felt this big old dude. You know, Dex was a big dude and he was just like shaking. And I'm like, damn. And he just had left, but you could see like the bullet holes in his car. And he made a song about that. I just got into a shootout last night with Shy Glizzy. Metro Boomin had sent him some beats.
These niggas hoes, these niggas hoes. These bitches know, these niggas hoes. I just got in a shootout last night. Take the chopper, try to take that nigga life. These niggas hoes, these niggas hoes. These bitches know, these niggas hoes. I just got in a shootout last night. I take the chopper, try to take that nigga life. Fucking push her, and what it get for trying to ball up in the wrong spot.
Don't go try to do everything y'all hear in these songs, you know? Everybody don't get away with everything. You know? That's what I want them to know for real. Don't try to be Dex.
When we first started our conversation, he did express that he was hopelessly lost. He did. And I spent the next 20 minutes convincing him that he wasn't.
Goes back to the story I talked about with the pastor. It's pretty much his image and who he was. It was like, this is what it is. And you hear he spoke about death and the devil and the Reaper. He talked about that, like I feel it. Like he really felt he had death on me. And he thought it was from, you know, all the shit he was doing. When he used to take Molly one night, and he came and actually got some from my neighborhood. He passed out at a red light and woke up in the hospital. And then he texted me, he's like, look, like, bro, don't ever do that shit, man. I died and came back to life. It's like I felt my body, my soul leave my body and get cold. I woke up in the hospital, I don't remember nothing. He like, it's like God just told me, like, straighten up. And then I'm like, so what you? He was like, man, I can't stop. And it's like he was addicted to it, like the lifestyle. The last few months, he wasn't himself at all. He was in a dark place. You know, he was running through his money a lot and getting low on funds and, you know, the rap stuff. Meek was inviting him out to stuff. He wasn't going. He was actually, it was something going on in Philadelphia and he didn't want to go because He didn't have himself all the way together. Like, just, he didn't have his jewelry out at the time, you know. When you going out to Meek Mill, you want to be up to par. You want to have your Rolex, your Cuban link chain, your Buffy Cartier glasses, and he was just going through stuff. He got to taking Xanax, partying, drinking a lot of lean. He was at a dark place at that time.
2 people have been shot, one of them fatally outside the Crazy Horse strip club. We are told that this started as an argument over a woman. Right now, we can tell you that everything started inside the club and then moved outside where it turned deadly. One of the victims was shot in the chest and the other one was shot in the elbow.
That night, you know, when Byron left his father's house, he told him, he's, "Pops, I love you." And he told the other kids, "I'll be back." I guess it was the last time anybody seen Byron.
Actually, I was supposed to meet him there. And I was at another club down the street and waiting on his call. I never got the phone call. But that night at the club is pretty much his girlfriend at the time. She used to deal with a guy who hang with the guys who party it was that night. And he used to drop her off, you know, she was dancing at the time. He'd drop her off at the club and come back and pick her up. This particular night, he knew who party it was, so he actually, well, I'm gonna go in this night. And there's some guys in there know that's his girl, trying to be funny, you know, throwing money, making her come dance for me, just trying to taunt him, and he wasn't going for it. So he, you know, pulled his gun out, shot in the club, poured the champagne on her, like, "Go get your shit, let's go." He goes outside to, you know, get in the car with the rest of the guns and shit. That valet moved the car. The guys who party it was come outside to confront him, you know, like, you know, "Why you fuck my party up?" And, you know, and they had words and, you know, probably seen the footage. That's when the guy reached over and shot him. But as I recall, those was his words. "I don't want to die." And they say he said that to the gas station man.
I knew a girl that danced at that bar that night, and she was like, "Yo, I think your little brother just got killed." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" She like, "I'm telling you, Mike, I think Dex got shot." So I'm calling his phone, because I hear rumors about him all the time. People love calling me and telling me about him. So I called his phone, like, "What's up?" Nobody answering though. So more and more calls start pouring into my phone. So I'm like, okay, let me get to the hospital. I'm like, what hospital are they supposed to be in? They said receiving. So I shoot up there. When I shoot up there, I see his little brother Deucey. I just instantly, I'm like, "Deucey, is it true?" And he just like, "Yeah, Mike," and put his head down and just started crying. And that was just...
At the hospital. I couldn't take it. And all the people that was there, we had just got there too late. I was so hurt. I was just hurt about it. Still moaning, but he won't be back. That's why I'm glad he has the videos, and that way I could see him and I could hear him. You know, think about him a lot.
People kept trying to tell him, like, "Man, you gotta sit down somewhere. Leave these clubs alone. You're on your way there. Just chill." He was just being himself.
I wondered, did I do enough to explain to him the destiny and the purpose that God has in a life that he creates? I wonder, was I explicit enough? I wonder, was I clear enough? It took me months to get over that.
him being so real and sticking around and still being here, he could have left and, you know, moved to Atlanta, moved somewhere else and finished the rap thing. His buzz was already there. But he so real, like, you know, I'm hood, this me. I ain't where I'm going, I'm still in my city. He said that, I ain't hiding, bitch, I'm in the city.
He had what the world was looking for. He had that 80s flow, that you know what, that old school flow that everybody loved and grew up off of. He had that. Yeah, he definitely would have been something big.
What would you like people to know about him?
That he was my big teddy bear. That's what I call him. My big teddy bear. I don't care, even from a little boy. If the other kids and we watching TV, Byron would come in and he would sit right by me. He was like, push the other one over like that. When he got older, he still did the same thing. As big as he was, he still did the same thing. Grandma, you okay? And put his arms around me. He was really an affectionate child.
Live fast, die young. The lifestyle. Everybody get caught up, not too many people. The rappers that have made it, that's believable, who rapping and you be like, it gotta be real. So you feel like you can do it and live the same, but it ain't the same. It ain't as easy as it used to be. It's like once you reach so high, think about all the rappers that's getting killed that's just about to blow up. You see a post every other day from a Main Street rapper like, man, he was just on his way. They getting killed in their own city.
I want the world to know Byron, my Byron, our teddy bear. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want the world to look at. It's always another side. And then I want you to know why he did the things that he did. It was a reason.
She lost 2 of her brothers and 2 of her oldest sons. Same way, gun violence in the streets.